I'm a porter, right? And I'm like sweeping, and I see my homie, and he's just hanging, right? But I started thinking about all the homies, all the blacks that are raping this fool, and I'm just like, you know what? Like, I don't want this man to suffer. So I just walk away.
So I was raised in the house. I OD like 3 times when I was like 10, 9, you know what I'm saying?
You're kidding me.
Yeah, cops pulling us over here, swallow this shit. And
Really?
you poop it out later, yeah. Drink a 7-Up, you'll come back out.
And you just would do it because you would have no
shit, I'm only
choice.
years old. What the f*** you mean? 11 years old, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, do you remember getting pumped by the paramedics? Did you get pumped?
No, I remember, I didn't go to the paramedics. I went to
I've torn there's no more carpet because I think I'm remodeling it. Only the carpet's taken 9 months to finish. The floors are destroyed. I'm Tim the Toolman Tweaker Taylor remodeling this home. The last day, I come to my last day where I did 17 shots of methamphetamine and heroin. I did one, not to be rude and no disrespect, but I did one on the vein on my private, and it didn't work again. Mind you, the 17 shot was that one. Nothing's working. Nothing is, I'm not even getting high. I'm not even getting schizophrenic.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Indicted TV. Today I am going to be reacting to a few of the saddest stories I've been told by past guests. We're going to be doing Young Beef's comedy, Mohawk Matt, and Big Stomps. These are sad stories that actually stand out to me, that every time I see them, I can't help to think about. We're going to start with the Young Beefs, and this is a time where he is out and he is reflecting. Well, this is a time when he's out and his friend reaches out to him and tells him, hey, would you like to share your story? You know, your YA experience. There's a lot of people that don't want to share, things like that. So he was like, you know what? I am. So he calls him and he's like, I want to do it. And then that's one of those stories is when he remembers one of his close friends hung himself. He was a porter. And we'll just let Young Beefs tell the story.
Up to sundown, but because I had so much hurt in me from the trauma from being in jail, and like I never really seeked mental health or anything like that, you know, because I always thought it was like weak. Yeah. And you know, you're so programmed to like be on your toes, no weakness, right?
Yes.
So I started thinking like maybe I do need help, you know. And so one day I reached out to somebody. Well, one of my homies named Cricket. He reaches out to me and he's like, hey, I'm writing a book about YA. Like, nobody really wants to say the story. Like, would you say your story, right? And at this time, like I told you, I had been in YA and I was respected. And nobody really spoke about my story because, you know, the respect I had. I went to prison. Some people knew about it, but nobody spoke about it, like you said, because of where I was in life and there, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I'm chilling, and I just, for some reason,
you worked to where you were at.
Exactly. I started thinking about like all the kids that got raped and beat up. One of my friends hung himself. One of my best friends, he hung himself because he was getting raped so much. And I started thinking about it. And
So imagine, you guys, I personally couldn't imagine doing my little mopping outside and looking to the side. You know, obviously it's a hallway, there's the rooms. You look and you see your close friend hanging himself. Like, I personally couldn't imagine, like, what, like, do I scream? Do I tell the CEO? What? Well, I don't know what I would have done. Play it.
the reason why I came forward with my story in the beginning was because I'm a porter, right? And I'm like sweeping, and I see my homie, and he's just hanging, right? And I'm just like, damn, dude. And you know, the normal thing to do is to like report it. You know, this guy's hanging, you know. But I started thinking about all the homies, all the blacks that are raping this fool. And I'm just like, you know what? Like, I don't want this man to suffer. So I just walk away. I walk away, and it's sad that I did what I did.
You know, now that I sit back and I'm listening to it again, you know, I probably would have done exactly the same thing Beeves did. And I say that because he knew, you know, how much his friend was suffering. He would see him, you know, there. He would probably even hear him when he was going through the things that he was going through, meaning he was being raped, he was getting beat up, and maybe he was getting raped different times, but a lot of different boys. And like, you don't want him to suffer anymore. And he says that, you know, he goes to heaven, but we know in reality that the young boy probably didn't go to heaven because, committing suicide is one of the biggest sins. But the fact that he wasn't going to be feeling those boys hurting him anymore, probably the best, for him was like, you know what? I'm just going to let it happen and just act like nothing, like exactly what Young Beeves did. Play it?
I did, but I just looked at it like, you know what? What's the point of me helping this kid if he's just gonna get raped, get beat up? I'd rather him, I mean, go to heaven, be at peace finally, right? So I'm thinking about this homie and I'm getting loaded, right? And I tell my homie Cricket, you know what? I'm gonna do it.
Pause it.
And
So yeah, like it's just even you could tell, even you see in my episode right there with him where I'm like crying because I could not imagine, like, and there's nothing that you could even do to help this boy, especially in YA in those years. You cannot help these boys that are being touched because that's not your place. And some people might be like, who lets these boys get raped and things like that. But when there's a young boy that's very small and you have these huge boys, like, what can you really do? Are you supposed to, like, you could only fight so much until you're defeated. So with that being said, like, I probably would have done exactly the same thing Young Beeves did, was just to, maybe just say a prayer and just keep going, which is so freaking sad, because that's probably something that Young Beeves thinks about. I'm not gonna say every day, but obviously this is something that sticks out to him. That he, this is something that sticks out to him that probably traumatized him. I don't know how it is to see somebody hanging. So imagine him as a young boy seeing his friend hanging because he's been raped so many times. And I also wanted to share, we see all of these ads, even on Instagram, if you've been abused in juvenile hall, you could reach out, you could get concept, how do you say the word? Comes, I'm gonna say it over. And I also wanted to say that we see these ads stating, if you've been abused by staff in these juvenile halls, you could reach out. And some people might think it's a joke, but this is a proven fact that it is not a joke. This is what actual people go through. And there is a lot of people out there that has gone through it, women and men, that are not okay. And it's okay for you guys to reach out. It is okay for you guys to talk about it, especially when it's like, it's private. You got to speak about it. We got to heal ourselves. And that's mainly the thing, they have these programs and they have these therapists, and, our culture just in general, they say, it's not okay for you guys to talk about what you guys went through, but it is okay. This is exactly what I'm talking about. There's so many hurt people that are suffering because of these situations. And if you're somebody that is watching that's been through a situation like this, or you know going through something similar, you don't need to hurt yourself. There is help out there, and we are going to put a number in the description. Next, we're going to talk about Big Stomps. Super funny guy, very outgoing, but he has a very, very sad story when he's young, Um, his mom used to make him swallow heroin balloons when the cops would come. I couldn't imagine doing that to my child, but we're going to let Big Stomps tell you guys.
It's called my mom Negra because she's cell black.
Okay.
Right. So my grandfather brought that to Canoga Park.
Got it.
Back then we used to get heroin. It was either East LA or Canoga Park. It wasn't popping like how it is now. You know what I'm saying? But so they're the ones that flooded that. I had my tío Negro. That's my tío. So same. You know what I'm
Got
saying?
it. Got
Yeah,
it.
yep. So I was raised in the house. I OD like 3 times when I was like 10, 9. You know
You're
what I'm saying?
kidding me.
Yeah.
Stop. How sad is that, you guys? How freaking sad is that? ODing at 8 or 9 years old off of a heroin, and you're not even a user. Play it.
It's
Oh wait,
negra. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It would make me swallow the balloons and put it in my pamper type shit. They pop.
wait. Oh my God. You're talking about this like it's like so like nothing, but it
It
really,
ain't.
but no, but in reality,
Oh, yeah,
it
it
really
is. Yeah,
is.
yeah, it
You know,
is. Like, yeah, like
tell me about those experiences that you remember after the fact. That did you ever get taken away?
by my tias.
Like, tell me about. Tell
Yeah,
me.
so like it wasn't
Well,
like
not
now,
me.
like
Tell us a little bit more about that, so
oh
that.
shit, yeah. So like my tias would take me, you know what I'm saying? Like they would leave me there. Honest that pinche negra, like it's that Johnny, you know what I'm saying, with the whoop and they'll treat me like they're kids, you know what I'm saying? They rolled me to school a couple times I was left so long, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, you know, I get it, but I don't get it. When I start having kids, like, I can't do this to these dudes. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I love that you
yeah.
at least are
Oh, yeah,
aware
the
of that.
opposite of it, yeah, hell
You know,
yeah.
you're aware of that, and I mean, we make mistakes ourselves,
course, yeah.
and we do what we do, and we've left our children
Yeah,
as
like,
well.
yeah.
But never like, hey, swallow
Yeah.
a
Dang, yeah, the
balloon.
cops pulling us over here, swallow this shit, and you poop it out
Really?
later. Yeah, drink a 7 Up, you'll come back out.
And you just would do it because you would
Yeah,
have no
well, shit, I'm only
choice.
years old. What the f- you? 11 years old, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, do you remember getting pumped by the paramedics? Did you
No,
get
I
pumped?
remember I didn't go to the paramedics. I went to
Pause it.
Bruja.
Oh my God, you guys. I'm never going to get over this. Getting pulled over and your mom's making you swallow these heroin pills. I mean, heroin balloons, and doesn't even take you to the ER. Takes you to a whole different place to get pumped. What this definitely does things to kids, you know. And I say this because, and then sometimes we wonder, like the outside looking, like you know, as I like the outside people looking into certain type of environments or certain type of people, like for like our kind of people, you know. And they're like, I wonder why these people grow, you know, go through these things when they get older, why they go to jail and make the decisions that they make. And it's because of this, because of these kind of situations where we're not even allowed to be children. We don't even know how it is to be a child. Go ahead.
In the hood, you know what I'm saying? They didn't take me to the paramedics, took me to the Bruja in the hood. That, you know what I'm saying? That does the babies where they can't suck no more, the saca el
The
pinche,
mollera.
yeah, that shit, right? So they took me, and I woke up with straight a doña there. My mom wasn't there, Negra wasn't there, nobody was there, and I just, you know, where's my grandma, you know what I mean? Yeah,
Ay, that's so sad, bro.
Yeah, it's all good. Don't make,
Yeah,
you know?
but so what? I know it's all good food, but
yeah.
that's just sad.
You know what I'm saying?
Like we
It's
wouldn't
cool.
wish that upon no child.
Yeah.
Like,
But
regardless, like-
later on in life, when I started slanging, you know, I know how to swallow and drink a
Hijo
7
de
Up
la chingada.
and throw it back out. It's a
No.
trade. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a trade. You heard that? Back to what I just said. Like, it's a trade. It's sad, you guys. It's sad that we have no choice but to grow up in certain lifestyles. And Big Stomps didn't have to go through any of that. You know, like you're a kid and he's so nonchalant about it, like it's okay. And I'm over here like devastated. But to him, I feel like it's how he copes. It's how, well, not even just him, a lot of people out there, because since I've been doing Indicted for like 3 years and a half, right? I've seen that it's a pattern, and a pattern that really only comes from moms or parents, I should say, that are born and raised here. So as parents, if you're watching this, you guys, please take a step back. Take a step back and look at your kids and see what we could do to make a difference in their lives so that they don't have to go through that. They're kids. Like we gotta make things different. And if you're a user, you guys, if you're a user, still take a step back and look at your children. Just take a step back and look at your children. Look at their faces. You're gonna be able to see everything in them. We gotta make a difference, you guys. We gotta make a difference. And that's what's so sad to me, because I did that. A lot of people are still doing that, and we got to make a difference in our kids. Got to make a difference in our kids, guys. This is freaking sad. Go. And now we're going to talk about Mohawk Matt coming home with a heroin and meth addiction to the point where he came home to a beautiful home with his parents. And in this period of time, his parents were even afraid to live in their own home. But we're going to let Mohawk Matt tell you guys.
On heroin just to calm myself down, and I could just drop the heroin like nothing. But meth, oh my God, it was horrible. It became the biggest battle I fought. And when I paroled home finally in 2013, I had had major PTSD coming home. I mean, I'm talking like I was washing boxers in the sink, wearing my shower shoes in the shower at my mom's house. She would laugh at me and I'd be like, yeah, I'm making Folgers instant coffee still. And she's like,
yo, chill. I still use my Folgers coffee.
Yeah.
I love it. I still use it.
I do too. It's a better kick.
Yeah.
You know, when you're used to a cup of coffee to let you use the bathroom and get up and start your day, I needed that.
Yeah.
As you're watching, I giggle a little bit, but PTSD is real, you guys. For the guys that do so long in there, and they come home like Mohawk and he's washing his clothes in the shower, he's still wearing his shoes. Keep in mind, he's still an addict, with that he came home with this addiction. So imagine that you as a mom and you're looking at your son doing all of this, how sad she feels in her heart, even though she giggles, but maybe that's how she deals. But imagine your son coming home after doing so long with an addiction, heroin and meth. You're looking at him, he's washing his clothes, just doing things that are not normal.
Yeah, and I came home like that, and then I also came home with a drug problem. I found a drug dealer real quick, and I had PTSD really bad. I stayed in a room in my mom's house probably about a year straight on parole, and I had dope brought to me. I had girls brought to me, a couple other, 2 a week just to have fun with him. Then they would leave, and I didn't want to leave that room.
You were stuck in your
room. I was stuck. I turned that room into a jail cell. I decked it out. It was all, I painted it black. It was cool stereo. I hooked up the room, and I sat in my window, drank my coffee, did my meth, did projects, looked at porn, whatever the weirdness I could combine, I did it there in that room, in the safety of that room.
I wonder how your parents felt.
Well, that wasn't the word. It didn't get bad till later. Like they were just happy I was home and staying home. They didn't really understand what was happening yet.
Okay.
How's that?
And I mean, they knew I had a drug problem, but they didn't.
As he says that, they were just happy he was home. I feel that a lot of parents go through that. They're just happy that they're home, that they enabled him to just stay home and allow him to do all of these things because they didn't know. But as parents, I feel that we do that, because if they would have been like, you know what? No, who knows where he could have been. But they loved their son so much that they were willing to deal with everything that he was doing. And that's super sad. Go ahead.
I didn't really understand the severity of it. And that room became my little world. And then as the meth on the street changed, because we all know it went from amphetamines and speed and P2P dope to crystal meth to now whatever it is. I'm getting this new shit coming home from prison, and it's my head up. It's turning me schizophrenic.
It does that.
Yeah, it's turning me schizophrenic. I'm accusing my parents of shit. I'm starting to destroy the house. I think I'm remodeling their $1 million home that they've moved to in Santa Clarita. While I was busted, they moved out to Santa Clarita in this bomb-ass 5.5 bedroom home. I've now turned this second story of this home into a trap house. There's no more carpet because I think I'm remodeling it. Only the carpet's taken 9 months to finish. The floors are destroyed. I'm Tim the Toolman Tweaker Taylor remodeling this home, installing fucking home fans on the staircase, shit that doesn't belong anywhere. I'm thinking I'm upgrading. I'm little by little destroying the home they've moved into.
No.
They're so scared they don't even go upstairs anymore.
As he goes into his story little by little, and he's so good at how he speaks, that you could actually picture him doing it. And it's like he went from being okay coming home and being, and in just a little bit of time, it changes and it changes and it changes and it changes and it just gets worse, worse and worse and worse, to where he really doesn't have any control of his mind. And that's where everything goes bad. Keep in mind, he just finished saying he accused his father of sleeping with his girlfriend that he hasn't been with in a year.
Abandoned their bedroom. They're living on the couch. This went on for a while.
Oh
I
my
battled a serious drug addiction. I
God.
battled it. I battled it until finally, to shorten it real quick, one day I had been praying. I had been praying to God and Odin, please take this from me. For like 2 weeks, I knew towards 2018, I'm coming to the end. And again, back to that one place I told you where I knew I had to quit. Something is knocking in my head like, this isn't working. Mind you, the drugs are not really working.
Yeah.
I'm not getting high anymore. I'm not enjoying it. I'm just doing a shot because I think I need to, and it's turning me schizophrenic. I got into a physical fight with my dad because I thought he was fucking my girlfriend who's in another state, who I have broken up with a year ago. The insanity in my head that I'm making. So for 2 weeks, I'm praying on my knees in a dark room. That room that I hooked up has now been destroyed, torn down to a mattress, a sweaty mattress, a little TV with porn on it, some paints that I'm painting a wall that never gets finished painting, some markers, 4 pairs of clothes in the closet, a candle. I've destroyed the room.
I love that you're sharing these stories.
Yeah, people need to hear this
people
shit.
need to hear.
Because it's real. The addiction is real. The room that I hooked up has now been reverted back to a squatter place where one of these tents homeless people would be living in. It's disgusting. I'm covered in sweat and filth. I can't use the bathroom. I probably weigh 90 pounds, and I think I'm sexy taking selfies with.
When he says addiction is real, you guys, addiction, it is real. If you are a younger person or any kind of person, but mainly a young person that is just starting to use, I really would love for you to go and actually watch Mohawk Matt's episode, because what he is describing is where you're going to be in no time. In no time. Especially with the way the drugs are right now. This is not even it, you guys. This is not even it. Go ahead.
This stupid cell phone, searching for fucking girls to hook up with on the internet. Like, who the hell would want to hook up with me at this point? You know, and I'm doing shot after shot of meth and heroin. And I'm praying on my knees for 2 weeks in this dark room. God, Jesus, Odin, one of you, please save me. I don't want to do this, but yet I don't know how to stop it either. So I'm stuck in the addiction. The last day, I come to my last day where I did 17 shots of methamphetamine and heroin. I did one, not to be rude and no disrespect, but I did one on the vein on my private, and it didn't work again. Mind you, the 17 shot was that one. Nothing's working. Nothing is, I'm not even getting high. I'm not even getting schizophrenic.
You're just hurting yourself.
But I'm injecting. I'm not missing. I'm not missing the vein. I'm actually I've injected enough methamphetamine and heroin at this point, more than Kurt Cobain probably did. I could have killed a horse. That much is in my system, and it's not doing anything. And I finally come to, and I'm like,
like it woke you up.
Well, no, I'm like, wait a minute. After I did that last shot on my private, I'm like, I've been praying for this. I wasn't smart enough to realize God had already answered my prayer.
Like, foolish is not working. There you
God tapped on me and said, hey, motherfucker, this shit, you're done. That's a wrap. You can just continue to inject, but I'm not going to let it hit you anymore. He was telling me, I got something else for you to do, and you need to get fucking on point.
Wow, you guys. 17 shots of heroin and meth in one day. And he wasn't feeling it. He even did one on his private. He wasn't feeling it. He's been praying on his knees. And a lot of us could relate, you know, when we're in our strongest addiction, and we know if you're an addict, recovering addict, whatever it might be, I'm a recovering addict, right? When you know that you only use to get up through the day is when you know you have a problem. He did 17 shots and he wasn't getting high, but he's been praying. He's been praying to God that he doesn't want to use. Please take it away from him. I've done that. I mean, I've never slammed, but I'm saying, like, I've smoked so much and I don't feel that I'm like, please God, I don't want to feel this. Like, take this away, take this away. And that was him, Mohawk Matt, saying, God, I don't want to feel this. Not realizing that God was answering his prayers. Like, bro, you're not getting high. Like, that's it. You gotta stop. He was completely destroyed. It wasn't even him anymore. Like, it is not you. When it's not you and you're using just to go through your day, is the day that you need to stop. You guys, you need to stop. Stop fucking around. That is it, you guys, because you do not want to lose yourself. If you are already shooting your pee-pee, you might as well just cut that shit off, because you're not okay. And with that being said, you guys, addiction is, there's no word for it. You guys, addiction is literally the devil, and we got to be stronger than that. Got to be stronger than that, because it's cold world out there and super, super sad. You hurt people, you hurt your most loved ones. So let's get it right, you guys. And with that being said, you guys, to me, there is a lot of sad moments, sad stories, but to me, these are the ones that stick out the most, that I always remember. I am going to be doing a lot more of these different stories, part 1, part 2, but these were the ones that stick out the most. And to watch the full episode, we are going to be putting the links. The links are in the description. Subscribe, you guys. We're almost at 100K. Make sure you guys comment. If you seen an episode that you think it's sad, or you want to pin out so that I could react to it, make sure you guys comment on there as well, and check out my sponsors.
We're not wearing that old. We're wearing the new Paisley Bandit sweatpants.
Hey, check this out. If you want to get into Navy Fed and get 20,000 in 95 days, comment the word credit. All right, come here. I already bombed this right here. Fix your credit. If you're Latino, you need to wake up. Fix your credit.